Welcome to this evening's Mars Anomalies and Beyond podcast. Oh, yeah. All right. So let's do this. Hey, there he is. Oh, what's going on, Ricardo? Yeah, Pete's getting in there. Okay.
Yeah, he's the first to join us.
Yeah. Like to jump in there, I guess. Let me turn this up here a bit. Listen to this. Can you hear that? You don't hear that vibration like that bass? It's a train going by.
All right. No,
Oh, yeah.
You
You can just hear the diesel humming, man. It's just insane. Oh, yeah.
sound of 40 railroad cars going past.
Yeah. It's always fun. Oop, I don't need that. Okay. What's going on, everyone? I see everybody's in there trying. They're filtering in over there. Okay. Pete Ferrero's in there. What's going on, Pete? Buffalo, New York. Renee Cruz. Michael Williams, what's up? Phil C. I got to make the screen a little bigger. I usually do that. I didn't do it today. Let me do this. Oop, not quite that big. Okay. Mick. What's going on, Mick? Good to see you in there. Goat Heart's in there. Robert Morgan's in there. For everybody who doesn't know Mr. Ricardo Petrazzi, he's right here. Welcome there, Ricardo. Appreciate you being in there. Oh, yeah. Good to have you on there. I don't know if a lot of these. I'm going to just crank this all the way up on the mic here, because unfortunately we had some issues with trying to link this up, and this is probably on my end, folks. So if you have a little bit of problem hearing Ricardo, it's my fault. You can blame me. He's a tech guy, so he probably can figure this out better than I can. But it's trying to use the Zoom with the OBS and stuff like that. I usually don't use them weird like that. I don't cross them, although they do work together well. I just haven't figured it out yet. But don't worry, it's just a bug we just have to work out. But I've been told Ricardo that I would like to have him on there, and we got him on. But his audio will be a little lower. I know some people will say, hey, what the heck, I'm not hearing him. Unfortunately, we're picking up through my audio from my speakers on the PC, as opposed to going straight through, which I would have preferred to have them. So as long as we can hear them, we're good. Oh, let's see. So how you been, Ricardo? What's going on?
Been pretty good, Chris. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Busy on the bike, busy on the work. Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I feel you. It's been crazy at my job. Unreal. Let's see. Yep. Go ahead saying, hello, Ricardo. Nice to see you. Your Highness is in there. Renee Cruz. What's going on, Renee? Slick 902. Hiya, Chris. Glad to be here. Hope all is good with all. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing good there, Slick. I like that, Slick. Renee Cruz, he said, I heard that train humming by you can hear it. You, God, what's happening? He said, hey, now.
I think everybody but me heard the train, Chris.
Well, it depends on the audio, how much you had on that, because if it's this microphone picks up sound pretty well. It's a pretty decent microphone, something professional, but it works well. But yeah, and I've got it basically the background actually cut off, and yet they still heard it. Now let me see. Yeah, you can hear that little bit of a hiss.
Yep.
I'll shut it off. You can hear the difference.
Oh yeah.
So now, if that train came by now, you would definitely hear this thing, because it just cuts out background, which is good. So yeah, he's got audio MG toe, but he's just a little bit lower than I am. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to try to pick this up, and I'm going to move this closer so we can hear him, and we'll go from there. All right. Well, let's see if you can hear him now. We'll just go along. Okay, so you guys are telling me about the audio. Okay. You're okay, not him. Okay. Like I said, he's going to be lower in the microphone because of the technical difficulties or adjustment or settings, as I said earlier. Let me set these over.
Technical challenges, Chris. Technical challenges.
Yeah, it happens. We'll just use that. Anyway, like I said, we'll definitely have it sorted next time. But like I said, I've been wanting to have Ricardo on. He always contributes a lot to the chat, as well as supporting the channel and always working, behind the scenes, we'll use the term, over on Discord. So again, thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
And okay. So yeah, I mean, I was like, yeah, we ought to get you on sometime. That'll be pretty interesting. So, because he's always have something cool to say. Like we're always on the, when we're on the chat, you're in there to give me your points of view and stuff like that, which is awesome. Which a lot of people here do anyway. See, I'm actually going to back away from the mic so I can almost get the same audio you've got. Let's see. Okay, okay. So, folks, we got a couple things to cover, and I also have another video coming up, and that's with the Zorong, depending on how you pronounce it, from China. I will show you that photo, or the page I've got this photo from, and that's going to be the next video coming out. Haven't edited it yet, but that will be coming out. And there's a couple of topics in here I thought was pretty interesting, and I kind of just blew it by Ricardo before we even got online. Trust me when I tell you, I got in here myself late, meaning trying to set all this up, just came from work, the whole 9 yards, and on the fly, and I'm thankful that Ricardo even said yes, because I was just like, hey, what are you doing? I hit him up, and he goes, nothing, just got to the PC. And then that was, he's just like, want to join on? Sure, why not? So, yeah, last second, so.
Super ad hoc.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Space Link TV, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Mr. Thomas. Simply Steve 68, what's going on? Josh D, like I said, is in there, and Nick's in there, and Josh D. Yeah, Josh D says, Ricardo Petrazzi, hey, mate. I'm going to put this, in fact, you know what? I'm going to do this. It's probably going to mess up my audio big time, but that's okay. All right. Go ahead and give them some talk, see if they can hear you now.
Okay. Any better?
You guys hear him a little bit louder now? You should be able to hear him a little bit, MG Toe.
Yep, UFOs are not real. No, UFOs are real.
In fact, I can turn up the mic just a little bit more. Whoop, not that way. Let me see. Okay, so what it is we're getting a little bit of echo there, I guess. Oh, why is that on? That's weird. I should not be doing that. Okay. Okay, now we'll try that. All right, you guys should be able to hear him a little bit better. So we'll try it out from there. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and. Let me see. All right, so just to start you folks off, I'm going to show you the photo that we're going to get into. This is going to be the next video, okay? Now, why is that so big on this? Well, here it is anyway. This is a Zorong rover from China. You can see the little lander way over here at the right-hand side. And, of course, we got this goofy-looking sand dune. And I don't believe that's a sand dune at all. And you'll see why. But really, really interesting photo. They have, let's see if I can't find this thing. I'm going to go ahead and get over here. Let me see. Oh, you gotta love that. Why is that here anyway? Yeah. Okay. So this is the rover. China just became the second country to drive a rover on the surface of Mars. Now, keep in mind, this was 2021, okay? Anybody want to buy car parts, by the way? But you'll hear this. This is pretty interesting because they actually show the surface of Mars. Now, again, this is from 2021, and then we can get into the other one. If I can get this other tab out of the way, it's showing it from Zoom, which is, if we have to, it's not a big deal. Let me see here. Try not to use any audio if we can help it in some ways because we don't like the copyright strikes. But this is from... Oh, hold on, that's why.
You are looking at brand new pictures of Mars taken by a Chinese probe that entered orbit around the red planet this week. It is getting crowded up there. The US probe expected to land on Mars next week, and the UAE also put a probe into Mars orbit on Tuesday. Well, in addition to taking pictures from orbit, the Chinese probe includes a lander and rover that will descend to the surface of Mars in May or June. The Chinese spacecraft is named Tianwen, which translates to questions to heaven.
Do you think they censored that photo at all? Or they just like turned theirs way up? Let me do this. Let me see. I'm going to go for...
At Morgan Stanley, old school hard work meets bold new thinking.
Now, did you see that? Did you have it on your other one or other PC or something else?
At 87 years old, we still see the world with the wonder of new eyes, helping you discover untapped possibilities and relentlessly working with you to make them real. Old school grit, new world ideas. Morgan Stanley.
It almost reminds me of some kind of bit of molded concrete.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Okay, good. Mind me, I'm just checking something here. Now, I think we can get audio through here. Let me just see. We'll just have to be quiet here a second. Play this. Maybe. Let's do this. I mean, this is, at first I wasn't going to do this only because a lot of times these space agencies use it from, they have a video and guess where it's from? YouTube. So that's a copyright strike and we don't want that. Okay. Let's see. Let's let it rip.
You are looking at brand new pictures of Mars taken by a Chinese probe that entered orbit around the red planet this week. It is getting crowded up there. A US probe expected to land on Mars next week, and the UAE also put a probe into Mars orbit on Tuesday. Well, in addition to taking pictures from orbit, the Chinese probe includes a lander and rover that will descend to the surface of Mars in May or June. Okay, so the Chinese spacecraft is named Tianwen, which translates to questions to heaven.
At Morgan Stanley.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it right to the spot where they have the actual Mars itself being in orbit. I just think it's a joke. It's like, why is everything always like this washed out, censored out, highly contrasted, but yet the actual orbiter looks completely fine? And I've seen them do it. India's done that. Okay, let me see. Right about here. It's just completely whited out. I don't like that. I mean, it's, like I said, India's done it before where they have, you can see their mom spacecraft looked pretty darn good, but then you look at the, if you put it in Photoshop and do it like a color autocorrect by itself, what it sees, spacecraft, their insignia, everything is the same until, guess what? And then when you hit that, all of a sudden the planet changes color, but nothing else in that. The spacecraft doesn't change color, nor does the insignia. And if it does, it's very little. And yet the Mars planet becomes more of a natural color instead of the orange. Imagine that. So I think that's weird. Well, not weird. We know what they're doing. I mean, just common sense, right?
Surprise, surprise, yeah.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a while, Ricardo. What have you noticed that's more of a joke? Is it, well, first question would be, what do you think they're doing? Do you think they're purposely hiding it for military, or they think they'll scare the public? What do you think they're doing, and why?
Yeah, I think it harks back to the Brookings report again, Chris, where two reasons. I think they thought they needed to potentially conceal some of the discoveries for the multitude of reasons contained in that report. But by the same token, I think there's probably a kind of, what's the word, a school of thought around NASA and the different infighting between the different factions that kind of work in there, that they can't reveal everything to everybody all at once. And some people, get to know about some things at one level, then there's another level below that hear about something else. And then there's the public level that you and I see on the sort of news media, where absolutely, I think, just based on your work and lots of other people's work, things are absolutely changed to conceal what's genuinely there. I think it's hard to tell sometimes whether something has genuinely been manipulated or not, as you know. The sophistication and what can be done nowadays with Photoshop and other software programs, is absolutely staggering.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I find it, years ago when I started looking at this stuff, like I started looking at the moon photos. And anybody who's somewhat into photography, they can see the photos are, just look at the mountains in the background. It's a joke. You'll have really good detail up front, look to the back, and it looks like it's art. It looks like it's art, like it's a drawing or some kind of template that they put over anything they don't want you to see. Now, this is nothing new because they do this on Mars. A lot of the photos you can see that were on, let's say, a Gale crater, right? You got Curiosity rover. Funny thing about it is, remember, and I don't remember off the top of my head how tall Mount Sharp is, at least not on the end. I think they're in the southeastern part of it at the time. What I found interesting was that this thing is pretty darn big. When you're in Gale Crater, I believe it's 100 miles across, if I'm not mistaken. So, in the mountain on that end, and I don't recall what it was, I don't remember what the numbers were, but every time you've seen at the time, the rover was at the base of the mountain, and yet you could see the top of that mountain where they were at. I went, wait a minute. If you're like 10 miles away, you might be able to see the top of this thing. But if you're at the base of it, you shouldn't see that mountain. That's like me walking up to Mount Everest and going, yeah, I can see the top of that. There's no way.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm going, okay, this is the reason why I said about the, when we talk about, well, that's Mount Sharp there. But if you talk about other mountains and you're that close to the base of these things, you should not be able to see it in a single frame. Like they're looking straight out going, okay, we're seeing the base of the mountain. And yet you can see the actual top of the mountain. I'm going, wait a minute, you shouldn't see this. Now, this is in the lower end, granted. I get that. But now you look at these new, this thing's not right. You look at these newer photos now, and I don't know. I knew it was going to happen, because I'm going to backtrack here a second. I knew it was going to happen from Curiosity to Perseverance. And what they did was they started changing up the texture of the photo, where they went from, it looked pretty decent, looked realistic, to all of a sudden it's like this grainy, this weird cover. And everybody's going, oh, yeah. When Perseverance gets up there, we're going to see the real deal now. No, you're not. I said, folks, I got news for you. You're not going to see it. It's not going to happen.
They just blame it on internet issues, Chris.
Yeah.
They don't have the bandwidth to send us the high-res pictures, to which we all know that's complete and utter BS.
Exactly. I agree. And it's just like, like I said, they have quantum communications, something of that sort. And like I said, I'll be darned if I can find that PDF I had. Like I said, about the son. Well, not the son. It was the actual two guys. One worked for NASA, one was not. One was an IT guy. The other one worked. He was an IT guy, but he worked for NASA. And these guys were going back and forth, going, "Yeah, I don't know what the deal is here. For some reason, Opportunity rover would not respond." And then they had to do a memory dump. They did all that, reprogram it. Suddenly, it started to move forward. And like I said, he wanted to know what was going on. So let me check out the memory. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what's going on. And when they did that, like I said, they found out there's an extra transceiver on the rover. And of course, that's both of them because it's Spirit and Opportunity at the time. So, and then they find out there's going to 3 main computers over the Deep Space Network. And wait a minute, what are you talking about? So there's going onto this hard drive, it's being recorded onto this hard drive. Now, I got a question for you. Do you believe that, obviously these are encrypted signals coming from these orbiters and stuff like that back to the Deep Space Network. Do you believe that the rover has the capability of masking the photos prior to sending it to Earth?
In short, yes, I do. I think the chat seems to suggest they're not really hearing me very well, Chris. I'm not sure if there's anything on the audio front that's a problem, but to answer your question, yes, I believe they absolutely have the ability to capture the image, pre-process it, introduce masking and any form of Photoshop manipulation prior to transmission, thereby meaning that by the time that image comes down over the Deep Space Network to us, it's already been manipulated. In essence, they have, a miniature PC on board the rovers. So with remote control of the computer, they can essentially just remote in, perform on-the-fly manipulation of the image if they wish, or even potentially use some kind of machine learning software built into the rover's operating system to run that through, recognize, and then transmit it back to us. I mean, we've all seen what's possible now with the AI images, Chat GPT, for example. Absolutely, I believe that that's possible, Chris.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is any better for you guys. Like, I'm trying to keep it like almost, I'm more of an echoey because I'm backed off. And his is almost the same audio. Mine's slightly higher than his. So I'm trying to get a happy medium. I got the microphone closer to the speaker so you can hear him better. And mine will be a little lower. It's not going to be 100%, guys. Just believe that. Just bear with us. So we are trying to get it like a happy medium. So I think next time we're going to try to get Facebook working good. Even though this works well because I've done this with Billy Carson, Thomas. We've done this many a times through Zoom and never really had an issue. So I don't know what the deal is, but we will iron it out next time. I promise.
Probably just the quality of my microphone, Chris.
Well, it might not be. It's just like I said. It's not going. The audio is not going straight through the OBS software. So, and it shouldn't be an issue. Well, there it goes. So we just ended Zoom. That was only like a 40-minute type thing. I think you get with this. So I believe he's going at the moment. So let me try this. Let me see if we can get him back. I'm going to try this here. Hold on. Oh, wrong one. All right, let me get right back with you guys. Give it a second. Let me see. I'm going to turn off some microphone here for a second and get right back to you guys.
through the computer. Okay. Yeah, I can still hear
I promise you, folks, we did not take off. We're still trying to work this out, but we may just we may just
The
set
men
this.
in black have not gotten to us.
You might actually be louder through this. Like I said, I've got this for some reason. It's just a conflict. It's like I said, between the OBS and this here. And now that we're trying to use simple Facebook, I think it's all about adjusting. But yeah, if you can get your video to work, would be all right.
Yeah, a bit of a strange one.
Yeah. No, I promise we did not go home somewhere and take off or get abducted. I think we are good. Let's see. Let me get back on here. Oh, not there, but let's do. Let me see. I promise we did not go home somewhere and take off or get abducted. I think we are good. Okay, let's see. I'm probably not going to get my video back either. Let's see. Turn this off a second here and then do this here. Okay. Okay, just checking here, guys. But yeah, my apologies. This is all my fault because, like I said, this was last second, folks. We were trying to get this thing on, and for some reason, it's just a compatibility. It's just a setting. I'm sure it is, and so this was of no fault of Ricardo's, of course. Like I said, it was just last second. I was like, hey, you want to get on? But for some reason, it just wasn't working. So let's see. And I don't think I'm going to get my camera back either, because I'm not seeing it working here. No, it's just showing a video. It's not actually letting me do it, and it requires actually resetting this thing, because we actually went from one software to another and so on and so forth. So it kind of throws a stick in the spokes there. When you stop one program, you got to stop the other. So this kind of happens, though. You'll have that. But like I said, I won't have any more video. Let's see. Yeah, like Ricardo saying, sorry, everyone. Audio and video issues. Now, like I said, because of this, it's not going to allow me to bring my own camera back up, which, again, sucks. If everybody wants to wait a second, I'll restart this thing and we'll get it back on. If that's a yay, everybody let me know. If not, it's not the PC, Charles. It's just the settings we were using different from everywhere from Zoom program to OBS program to NVIDIA broadcast, and it just, some of them jive together and some don't. And if you stop one, you got to stop the other, and because they're both, well, depending on which one you're using, will fight for the camera usage. And then once you drop one off, then the other one won't work until you restart that program. So, yeah, we can, but I could get it right back online, Long Island. He said we can chat without the video, but I can start this thing right back up pretty quick. So if you guys want to do that, let me know, and then we'll just restart it real quick. Let's see, get this back down here. There we go. All right, so let me do this. Let me jump off of this, and then I'll get right back to you guys.